Okay, so imagine this. You walk into a packed sports bar, right? Every single screen is showing a different game, perfectly timed, no glitches. Or think about a big church service, maybe? Lyrics, announcements, all appearing smoothly on different displays. Even in a really high tech home theater setup, how do all those screens get the right feed at the right time? Without a crazy mess of wires or someone constantly flipping switches. It's a really common thing these days, isn't it? Managing all these screens, all these sources. So today we're going to do a deep dive into one of the key pieces of tech that makes all this work, an HDMI Matrix Switch. And we're looking at a specific one, the description for the WolfPack 4K 30Hz 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switch. Our mission basically is to slice through all the tech talk, the jargon, and figure out what this thing actually is, who needs it, and what interesting bits are hiding in the specs.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because, you look at this product description, maybe seems a bit dry, but it gives you a real glimpse into how professional AV distribution actually works. It shows how just one device can tackle some really complex routing challenges. It's kind of the hidden engine behind those seamless multi-screen experiences we just, well, expect now.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's start right at the basics. If someone's never heard of this, what is an HDMI matrix switch, like in simple terms?
Okay, think of it like a really smart traffic controller, but for your video and audio signals. So you might have, say, a cable box, maybe a games console, a Blu-ray player. Those are your inputs. And then you've got your outputs, TVs, projectors, whatever displays you have. A matrix switch lets you send any of those input signals to any of the output displays independently. So you can send the cable box to TV1, the game console to TV2, or the same game console to all the TVs at once.
Yeah.
It's all about flexible routing.
Ah, okay, so it's not just a splitter then, which just duplicates one signal to many screens. This is actually deciding where each signal goes, like a router for HDMI.
Precisely. It's routing, not just splitting. That's the key difference.
And this specific WolfPack one, it's a 4x4, so that's 4 inputs, 4 outputs. Seems straightforward enough.
Yep, 4 in, 4 out. Any of the 4 sources can go to any combination of the 4 displays.
Okay, got it. Now, you mentioned earlier, and the source material points this out too, this particular model, the WolfPack Silver. It's listed as discontinued. What does that tell us? Is 4x4 not enough anymore, or is it something else? It points towards a newer model, the HDTV 4K 604x4.
Well, a 4x4 is still incredibly useful. It hits a sweet spot for lots of places, medium-sized bars, restaurants, conference rooms, even complex home setups. The discontinued label, though, yeah, that really speaks to how fast AV tech moves. It's relentless. It suggests that, the market demands have shifted slightly. In this case, it looks like the newer model supports 4K at 60 Hz, whereas this one is 4K at 30 Hz.
Ah, the frame rate difference.
Exactly. 60 frames per second gives you smoother motion, which is becoming more standard, especially for sports or gaming. So it's just tech evolution in action. The 30 Hz model was great, but now there's something arguably better or at least more current.
That makes sense. It's a constant upgrade cycle. Okay, so we know what it is, roughly. But the real story, as always, is in the details, right? Those technical specs. What are the crucial bits of info hiding in there? Let's peel back those layers.
Absolutely. So first off, that 4K 30 Hz compliance. We touched on it, but it means Ultra HD resolution at 30 frames per second. Still very sharp, good for lots of content. And critically, it's downward compatible. So if you still have older 1080p or even 720p sources or displays, it'll work fine with those too. No need to upgrade everything at once.
Okay, compatibility is key. What about things like bandwidth? I see numbers like 340 megahertz and 10.2 gigabits. What does that actually mean in practice?
Right? Those numbers, 340 millihertz bandwidth, which translates to 10.2 gigabits per second data rate, and the 165 megahertz pixel clock, they essentially tell you how much data the switch can handle. Think of it like a highway. Higher bandwidth means more lanes. A higher pixel clock means cars can go faster. You need enough capacity to handle high-res video and complex audio without bottlenecks, without stuttering or compression artifacts. These figures indicate it's built to handle the demands of 4K 30 video and associated audio streams smoothly. It's the horsepower under the hood.
Gotcha. Horsepower for pixels. I like that.
Yeah.
Then there's HDMI 1.4 and HDDCP 1.4. What do those standards bring to the table?
Okay, so HDMI 1.4 is the version of the HDMI standard it supports. That version brought in features like deep color, meaning more shades of color, richer images, and also things like automatic lip sync correction.
Oh, lip sync. That's a big one. Drives me crazy when the audio doesn't match the video.
Exactly. HDMI 1.4 has a mechanism to help prevent that. It also supports high-definition lossless audio formats like Dolby True HD and DTS HD Master Audio, which is crucial for home theater enthusiasts.
And HDCP 1.4. That sounds like copy protection.
That's exactly what it is. High bandwidth digital content protection. It's basically an encrypted handshake between the source device, the switch, and the display. The source material specifically mentions its built-in HDCP internal management. This is really important. It means the switch handles all that key authentication internally, preventing interception of the signal. Without proper HDCP support and management, if you tried to play a Blu-ray or stream from Netflix, you'd likely just get a black screen or an error message. It's essential for using copyrighted content legally.
Okay, so it's like a digital bouncer, making sure everything's legitimate. And what about switching time? It says about 4 seconds.
Yeah, roughly 4 seconds. That's the time it takes when you select a new source for it to appear on the screen. It's not instantaneous. There's a brief pause while the handshake happens, and the signal locks. 4 seconds is pretty typical for switches of this era. Maybe not ideal if you're rapidly channel surfing, but generally acceptable in most commercial or home theater scenarios.
Right. And speaking of practicalities, cable length. This seems super important. The source says about 15 feet for input, 25 feet for output using standard high-speed cables.
Yes, this is a critical limitation of standard HDMI cables, especially at higher resolutions. Signal degradation happens over distance. That's precisely why they mention the optional 75 opt-ord HDMI CT6 extenders. For any installation where the source, the switch, and the display aren't really close together, which is common in bars, schools, even larger homes, you'll almost certainly need extenders. These let you run the HDMI signal over much longer distances using standard network cable like Cat5e or Cat6, which is cheaper and easier to install over long runs. So yeah, those extenders are often less optional and more essential depending on the setup.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you've got this powerful box, it's handling all the signals, dealing with copy protection, but how do you actually tell it what to do, especially in a busy place?
Great question. Because usability is huge. You need easy control. And this WolfPack offers quite a few options, actually. You've got the basics, an included IR remote control, like your standard TV remote, and physical buttons right on the front panel of the unit, which also has a little LCD display for status.
Okay, standard stuff.
Right. But then it gets more sophisticated. It offers RS-232 and TCP/IP control.
Yeah.
Now, those are serial and network protocol typically used for integration with third-party control systems. Think Crestron, Control4, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very common in professional installs.
For automation, basically.
Exactly. Then there's PC software you can use for configuration. And a really convenient one is the Web GUI, the Web Graphic User Interface. It mentions this works for any internet browser, and they recommend using on a tablet rather than a phone just because you get more screen space to see what you're doing. That gives you network-based control without needing dedicated software.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Control from a tablet browser sounds flexible.
Very. And the product title also mentions iOS and Android apps, so presumably there are dedicated mobile apps as well, giving you yet another way to manage it. Lots of options.
And what about those convenience features? Preset scenes that can be saved and recalled? How useful is that in practice?
Oh, presets are huge in the real world. Absolutely vital for efficiency. Imagine, like you said, a sports bar.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a game day preset that puts specific games on specific screens and an off-peak preset that shows news on some, music videos on others. Or a conference room, set up one preset for presentations, another for video conferencing. Instead of manually routing each source every time, you just recall the preset. One button press, saves time, reduces errors. It's a standard feature on pro-grade gear for a reason.
Yeah, I can see that being a lifesaver. And the closed caption pass-through just means captions will show up correctly?
Yep, exactly. It ensures that closed caption data embedded in the HDMI signal makes it through the switch to the display, which is important for accessibility and compliance in many venues.
Okay, so we've got the tech, we've got the control, connecting it back to the listener. Who is actually buying and installing a device like this? We mentioned bars and churches.
Right. The list in the source material is really diverse and paints a great picture. It says it's designed for installations requiring large HDMI matrix switching. So yes, sports bars, restaurants, casinos, bowling alleys, places managing multiple entertainment feeds, but also fitness centers, maybe showing workout routines or TV, malls for digital advertising signage, places of worship, as you said, and then more corporate or institutional uses. Data centers for monitoring various server outputs, gaming rooms, both commercial and high-end home, even nail salons for background TV.
Wow, nail salons too, okay.
Yeah. County clubs, factories perhaps for process monitoring or information displays. Conference rooms are a huge one for presentations, schools for classroom tech and announcements, and sophisticated home theaters. It's incredibly broad.
It really drives home how much video distribution is part of almost every environment now. When you see that list, you can really picture how it streamlines things, makes displays dynamic instead of static.
Absolutely. It's about managing that visual information flow effectively.
And what about the company, HDTV Supply? The source mentions they've been around for 24 years, highly rated. Does that matter in this space?
Oh, definitely. In the Pro AV world, reliability and support are paramount. You're often investing significant money, and downtime can be costly, especially in commercial settings. Seeing things like 24-year global home, certified since 3/2/2003, and good store ratings suggests stability and experience. It gives buyers confidence that the company will likely be around to support the product.
Which ties into that free lifetime tech support, offer phone, chat, text, email. For something potentially complex to install or troubleshoot, that seems like a really significant value add.
It really is, especially for installers or even end users who might run into configuration issues or compatibility quirks down the line. Knowing you can get help is crucial.
And it seems like this isn't just a one-off product. You mentioned the extenders, but the source also lists things like a WolfPack Ultra tablet TV control system and even basic WolfPack premium HDMI cables. It sounds like a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. WolfPack appears to be their brand name for a range of related AV distribution gear. It suggests they offer a more complete solution, where the different components, the switch, the extenders, the control interfaces, are designed and tested to work together smoothly. That can simplify integration quite a bit.
And just for context, the price point mentioned for this discontinued model was $500. Gives you a sense of where it sits. Definitely not consumer level, more prosumer or professional territory.
Yeah, $500 puts it firmly in the serious AV gear category, reflecting the hardware capabilities, the multiple control options, and the support infrastructure behind it.
So we've really unpacked this, haven't we? What seemed like just a technical description for a niche box turns out to be, well, a window into managing our very visual world.
It really is. It's fascinating how you pull apart the listing for one device and you see this interplay of high-res video, digital rights management like HTTP, user control, all working together. And it enables these really slick experiences everywhere from, yeah, that loud sports bar to a really sophisticated home cinema setup. It's complex tech made manageable.
Yeah, it really highlights that behind every multi-screen setup that just works, there's probably a device like this, like a hidden conductor, making sure every signal gets exactly where it needs to go. So wrapping this up for you, the listener, what's the takeaway? Maybe next time you're out somewhere with lots of screens showing different things, just, take a second, think about the hidden tech making that happen. And maybe ask yourself, is there some kind of visual puzzle or communication challenge in your world that a smart piece of routing tech like this could potentially solve?